What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. White man gets reduced sentence after sexually assaulting 700 children who happen to be black. You hear what I just said? I said, white man, South Carolina, gets a reduced sentence after sexually assaulting 700 black girls. That's the country we live in. He has no remorse, but he got a reduced sentence. 19 years. That means he'll be able to get out and do it again. And he also, on purpose, gave one of those black girls AIDS. And somehow, the judicial system, the white judge and the white lawyers somehow came up to the conclusion that this guy, who had no remorse and sexually assaulted 700 black girls, gave one AIDS, should have his sentence reduced. That's the country we live in. That's America. That's Donald Trump's America. That's white America. And R. Kelly is in jail for 30 years? I think it's time for us to be able to put R. Kelly back in rotation. I think it's okay. Because he was dealing with grown-ass... I'm not saying he was right, but them girls was damn near grown. And they weren't children. But he got the maximum. They threw his ass underneath the jail and poured concrete on him. But these white men, including the president of the United States and the cabinet and all the millionaires and billionaires who also financed that president, are all grapists. They had a whole island that did this shit for recreational activity their entire lives because they can do that. But no, none of them held accountable. Only the white women, the mama sons. R. Kelly got like 30 years. And every time I turn on the news, there's some white guy raping somebody. Children. Now, when I say this is cultural consistency with these white people, it truly is. Did you know that back in the Greek days and Roman days, so keep in mind, these are the two societies which white people attach themselves to talk about their ancient greatness, which, by the way, by all definition, the Greeks and the Romans would not consider themselves white. But for all intents and purposes, they white, at least the ones that, participate in these activities. Did you know in the Greek days, it was regular for a grown man to have their own little boy to sexually assault until they became of age? Pedophilia is a part of white culture. In the Roman days, it was okay for a man to have a little boy and sexually assault that boy. It was part of the system. You didn't know that. They don't talk about that shit in the little movies that hype them up, huh? The Spartans, right? The ones white people like attach themselves to make themselves feel like they was ancient, tough warriors, best warriors in the world. Even though they got their ass kicked by the Persians, right? That's what really happened. They got their ass kicked by the Persians. They also were pedophiles. They were all gay lovers. They were gay and pedophilic. So history says these people are culturally consistently pedophilic LGBTQ community individuals. History, all the way up to the transatlantic slave trade, where they went to Africa and stole little girls and raped them, and then they went gallivanting around the world and raping Asian girls, Native American girls. These particular demographic of people, white men seem to have a problem when it comes to impulse control. Now, let me just ask a question. Is this unreasonable? If white males have demonstrated that they have to rape little boys and girls, and that they need societies that allow them to rape little girls and boys, and that when society says they can't rape, they do it anyway. And when they get caught, the system is which they create gives them a tap on the hand, or they don't tap them on the hand at all. Not even a ruler, just here you go, bad boy. Go over there, disappear from society. Even their religious organizations are known for systematically graping little boys and girls. The Catholic Church, literally, these supposed people of God are known for graping. But it's happening right now. At this moment, it's happening right now. What do they do when they get caught? Are they held to the highest extent of the law? No. They're passed along and moved to another parish. They're shuffled around the world until you can't find them. They disappear from the media. In the regular non-Catholic Christian church, the pastor within their communities grape the altar boys, abuse the children of the church. In their off-putting, in their Mormons and their Moabite societies or whatever, they're also known, these white men are known for graping little boys and little girls, sexual assault. Jeffrey Epstein, the 1% society, loved graping women. White women too. It seems like the white male and his sexual needs, they want to stick their eggplant into everything that's unwilling to allow them to do so. They're even known for graping donkeys and horses and pigs in America. They get caught and go to jail for graping livestock. Now, let me ask you a question. If you got such a parasitic demographic on this planet, if you got such an evil, demonic group of people on this planet, what would be the obvious solution to the problem? See, if I tell you what the obvious solution is, then I'm the bad guy, right? I'm the bad guy. If I tell you what it is that everybody should do to eliminate the issue, I would be the bad guy, right? I'm wrong. I'm out of line, right? I'm violating YouTube's community guidelines if I talk about the solution to the problem, because we all know the solution. We all know the solution. Now, ultimately, this demographic will disappear because there's various different mechanisms around the world that's making sure that this this particular demographic disappears. But it's not happening fast enough. And you can't blame anybody else for feeling this way about that particular demographic. You see, this demographic actually makes laws in order to justify what it is they want to do. And when they break those laws, they make another law or they find a loophole so they can get away with it. The laws this particular demographic creates is not meant to hold them accountable. It's meant to suppress and hold everybody who's not this particular demographic accountable. Also, they can use the law to bolster their criminal activity. White men create laws in order to commit crimes legally. That's what they do. Throughout their history on this planet, they have done nothing but this. Nothing but this. This is their contribution to society. This right here. If they're not killing it, they're graping it. And they have, and for some reason, this particular demographic, all right, now all the people in this demographic obviously don't participate in this activity, but this is a cultural thing, and they know. And they're very silent and quiet about it in their little communities. When their fathers are doing this to their daughters, when their fathers are doing this to their brothers, daughters, and sons and shit like that, and they like to keep their mouths quiet because, you know, they're conservative and they have family values. Is this their family values? Huh? Is this what people are signing up for when they go towards the conservative side? We know the liberals do it too. Liberal whites. Huh? Because they're liberal, they should be able to do it, right? These white groups seem to create rules for them, right? And then they create rules for everybody else. But they want to hold us to a standard in which they can't even possibly meet the bare minimum of. This particular demographic and those who participate in these extracurricular activities make me sick. If I could, I would. Let me tell you something. If I could, I would, on sight. and sleep very well at night. I would enjoy it. I would love it. I wish there was a job that I would get out of retirement and go work for whatever company allows me to go do that for free. I would work overtime. I would enjoy my job. I would do it to the day I die. I really wish I could. I really wish there was a job that allowed me to do those type of things, but there's not. Unfortunately, this is America. This is not a one-off. This is the system of America. It's always been the system of America. It's always been the system created by this particular demographic that just can't help themselves. They just can't help themselves. So I don't feel sorry for, or I don't have empathy for the fact that this particular demographic is on its way out, is going extinct. Will be a something we talk about in books, about these things that used to exist, about these creatures that used to exist, about these parasites that used to exist. I can't wait until you're past tense, because you guys are disgusting and should not be allowed to have experiences on this earth. You should not be allowed to exist. You're not a necessary evil. You're an unnecessary evil that needs to be eliminated. That's what this demographic is. I'm totally this is disgusting. South Carolina, Lindsey Graham's the gay white dude in the closet that likes to warmonger and kill up. This is his place, his people. Anyway. Tell me what you think in the comments section. Just Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach them. I'm out, man. Fucking bullshit.
A predator gets reduced sentence after abusing 700 minors. What the actual? That's what it says. Her Atlanta Black Star, a major South Carolina sex trafficking case that languished in the court system for more than 4 years, came to an anticlimactic conclusion in August 2023 when 46-year-old Jason Roger Pope, white disc jockey, received a reduced sentence after pleading guilty to 13 felony charges of having sex with children, including hundreds of underage Black girls. You're not about to do this to me today. I guess we're going to have to get into it. What a pig. Look at the picture, the eyes, the disgustingness, because that is what children saw. $700. For authorities, Pope worked for years as a DJ in Florence County. He used his trade to take advantage of young girls through his job. He was able to promote teen dance parties and regularly marketed the events on social media. As part of a deal with prosecutors, why would there be a deal? Pope, once known as DJ Kid, that's actually what he called himself.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
Confessed to 5 counts of sex trafficking of a minor, 5 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor, and 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct for South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson. And I'm not impressed, Mr. Wilson. So instead of a 30-year prison term, Judge Brian Gibbons on the right suspended that possible sentence in favor of 19 years behind bars. Far lighter sentence, much lighter punishment. And prosecutors initially wanted for Pope, who admitted to prostituting and having sex with 693 underage Black girls between 2017 and 2019. Do the math if you can stomach it. While intentionally infecting at least one of his young victims with HIV. If anyone deserves the maximum, isn't it this piglet? But then again, we have to talk about Black girls and their worth. Is it 20% of white girls? 10%? What is a Black child, their promise, their future worth? What's a Black girl worth? I'm just asking because I'm looking at the details here. The headline said something about nearly 700 victims. And I just did read a sentence that said in a 2-year period, he admitted sex with 693 underage Black girls, giving HIV intentionally to one of them, and you cut a deal with this monster? Not impressed. What are Black girls worth? Well, let me tell you, the judge did order strict probation conditions for Pope following his eventual release from prison. We're already talking about when he gets out to do it again, folks. They're designed to protect the public. Yeah, right, Your Honor. Including a requirement that Pope be monitored around the clock for at least 5 years by special agents dedicated to supervising sex offenders. Who gonna pay for that, boo? And if we have them available, let's start protecting the kids a little bit sooner. Like, I don't know, after the first 100 or so are sexually assaulted, maybe move in then and see. I'm getting a sense that these girls aren't being protected in our community. Pope violates his probation. He'll be sent back to prison for 10 years. Big deal. That's how probation works. You violate it, you're back in the system. Which is essentially the length of time the judge suspended from his original sentence. Why did you suspend it again? It said, you're not impressing me. Moreover, Pope will be required to register as a sex offender, routine, which will place his name into a national database to alert communities around his chosen place of residence, because that works. Permanent restraining order will bar him from contacting his victims. All 693 of them. Will he be barred from contacting all 693 of his underage Black girl victims, including the one he gave HIV to intentionally? I think it's a valid question. Atlanta Black Star giving us all the essential pieces of this one. Pope was arrested September 12, 2019, after authorities found evidence he had lured teen girls through his social media pages, using his charming public persona as a front for sex. For nearly 4 years following his arrest, the legal case remained stalled. Why? While Pope remained held at the Florence County Detention Center without bond, he ultimately pleaded guilty on August 30th, 2023. Okay, the Attorney General and the judge they need to go. And I don't care if they're not even the worst. We've covered some really incredible stories on Indisputable here. 3 years earlier, January 2020, Pope was indicted on 14 charges, including criminal sexual misconduct, promoting prostitution, human trafficking, kidnapping, and other offenses. Highly anticipated trial, however, never materialized as the judge granted continuances that gave the defense extra time so that the defendant could be evaluated mentally. And soon thereafter, a psychiatric expert diagnosed Pope with autism. I give zero about what Pope was diagnosed with. Back to the 693 underage Black girls and the one he intentionally gave HIV to. Zero. As a result, Pope's lawyers quickly filed motions claiming he was incompetent to stand trial. During a bond hearing in December 2021, Pope's attorney claimed their client had the mind of a teenager and deserved to be set free. No, wanting and teenagers is the problem here, defense attorney. Desiring disgusting acts with underage. That's the problem, attorney. And no, he should not be set free to do it all over again.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach? Who taught you to hate yourself? from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.